Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Hello, you're welcome to today's edition of Money Radio on Leadership Podcast. Money Radio brings you the latest developments in business and economy cycles of Nigeria and also issues of businesses around the world. My name is Innocent Odo, and today we are talking Techie Nigeria, and our focus is on the dangers of cyber attacks and why you can be the next victim or next target of cyber attacks. We are on this program today to do justice to this very important topic and also to give the Nigerian public necessary steps that they must take to ensure that they protect themselves from this very serious menace that is troubling parts of the world and also in many parts of the country. I have in the studio an ICT expert with whom I'm going to do justice to this very important topic. I have Hanel Jafaru. Hanel, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Now, our statement is very clear. You can be the next victim of a cyber attack. What do you think about that?
Well, let's even start by saying the reasons why we are the next victim of cyber attack. And when I use the word we, it should be personalized. Or why I am the next victim of cyber attack. There are 5 reasons why we could be the next victim of cyber attack. And the first reason is because of you could be attacked because of what you know. Because of you have certain information within you. Now these informations have not been computerized. They are not digital. They are knowledge that you know. Now you can fall victim of an attack called sniffing, where somebody begins to sniff your traffic with the hope that you would release that information. Or you want to send that information to somebody, or someone sniff your VoIP call, and with the hope of them getting information that you are transferring to somebody via voice. Yes. So because of what you know, you could be a victim. You can also be a victim of cyber attack because of what you are. Maybe you are the IT manager of an organization. Maybe you are the MD that holds the trade secret of the organization. So you are already a victim because of the position that you occupy. Yeah, so you can be a victim of cyber attack because of what you are. Then you can also be a victim of cyber attack because of what you have. Now these are information. You have information that other persons need, and those information may be resident in your system. They may be they may have been typed. It may be information that regards the trade secret of the organization, or information that regards intellectual property, your intellectual property. So well, you have it. You are in possession of that information. So you can be a victim of cyber attack because of what you have. Then the fourth reason why you can be a victim of cyber attack is because of what you did. Because now you may have taken a decision as an organization. You may have taken a decision that did not augur well with employees. That would cause employees to carry out what is called insider's threat on the organization. So because of what you did, now the reason that you're being attacked is because of what you did. Wow. And the last reason why you can be a victim of cyber attack is because of what you did not do. Now you're supposed to change your password. You did not change it. You're supposed to put screen lock on your phone. You did not do that. You're supposed to update your antivirus. You did not do that. Now, bringing all this together, you find out that at the end of the day, everybody must have one reason why they will fall victim. So with that, we can easily conclude that everybody is a potential target.
I had an experience recently when someone went to my Facebook account and then changed everything that was my own identity to something different.
Yeah.
And is using it to send messages to so many people, both within and outside the country, soliciting for something that I would never have thought about. So I don't know how that kind of, that's for an individual like me, that I virtually don't even have anything, for instance, I'm not financially, you cannot say that the people will hack into my account and take anything.
No, you have something. You have followers, even though it's 2 or 3 or 4. You have followers, so that fall under the reason of because of what you have. You have a social media account, and because you have a social media account, you have friends, and because you have friends, now these guys will begin to solicit for funds from your friends who are your followers on social media. So you have friends that are linked to your account. So you are being attacked because of what you have.
This is serious.
Yeah.
Now you can see that apart from individuals, there are corporate entities, just like you mentioned, maybe banks, financial institutions, and even the customers patronize, these institutions. So, how does this attack affect these institutions and, of course, their customers?
It saddens me that Nigeria have not gotten to the state where it becomes a problem. Now, certain banks may have been attacked in this country and we don't know. Certain banks may have experienced cyber attack, and the public, that's the Nigerian public, are not aware of it because we don't have system in place to detect some of these attacks. And even though the banks know that they are supposed to carry out due diligence by reporting, not all banks actually, or generally not all organizations that are fallen victim end up reporting that they have been attacked. Yes. So, but for banks specifically, when an attack happens, when a bank experiences a cyber attack, it's going to drop the goodwill of the bank. The bank would no longer have the reputation of the bank is questionable. Customers begin to be scared of their money, so they begin to withdraw all the funds that they have with the bank, knowing fully well that in Nigeria, every Nigerian has more than one account has an account with another bank. So they begin to transfer their funds in that bank to another bank, and that eventually may likely bring down the bank. Yeah. So an attack on financial institution is something that it takes away the trust that the public has on the financial institution, which eventually drops the turnover and the profit for the bank generally at the end of their returns. So for the bank, it's a bad one. Now for the public, they tend to lose funds. Why the bank will also lose funds, the public also, who owns accounts or who runs accounts with certain bank, have the tendency of losing their funds, because if they have also that I am a cybersecurity expert does not knock me off the possibility of getting attacked. You get. So we know that there are certain banks in Nigeria that tends to be more security conscious than others. Why we know fully well that there is still a benchmark that they said, okay, maybe the CBN has put in a benchmark to say, okay, all banks must pass through this benchmark. But I think it's time that we even up that benchmark because of the rate at which the cyber security industry is growing. So customers that run accounts with banks have the tendency of losing their money. They may be using ATM, and all of a sudden the ATM is bad, or the card, they misplace their card, and all of a sudden the details of the card is being used to withdraw funds. So it's a huge one. It's not something that we should experience, even though it still lies on us and what we've put in place to curtail or mitigate this kind of
scourge. Yes. Now it's really very disturbing because of multiple experiences that a lot of people have had in the past over this issue. I remember an experience where a man, his bank details were obviously cloned by a particular individual who called him pretending to be working in a particular bank where he has his accounts. His official name, was actually mentioned to him in full, and telling him he had a certain bank account. Unfortunately, he was not able to understand that this is a fraudulent movement. He had to give them his full bank details, from where they now had to withdraw the amount of money he had in the bank, cloning the banker. There's some of the bank logos and even some of the emblems of the bank. So pretending, of course, that they are coming from the bank. So in this situation, okay, even if you lay complaint to the bank, there's virtually nothing that they could do about that.
Yeah, the reason still boils down to the fact that thank God for the cybersecurity policy and strategy that was recently signed sometime in April. It's supposed to checkmate some of these things, but the reason why it is the way it is now is because we don't have a system in place that checkmates all these things. who do you report to when there is an attack? Who do you report to when you lose funds as a result of someone cloning your account? If you go to a police station, they are clueless. They may not know what to do.
That even if they have any ICT section.
Yes, they have a cyber crime unit, both at the local based organized crime and a unit that interface with the foreign attacks that comes outside Nigeria. They have that, but how many persons are aware of it? How many persons know that those kind of units exist? Yes. So we need to go beyond just saying that there is that kind of unit, to make it available to everyone. Let everyone know that, okay, this unit exists as a unit under the Nigerian police force. If you have an attack, this is who you report to. If you think you are under an attack, this is what you do. Because if you go to the bank will refer you to security agencies. Now, which security agencies are they referring you? They are referring you to the body called the NPF. And at the end of the day, the NPF will now need to refer you. The process is just so tedious that at the end, that most individuals will just end up giving up, especially when the fund is not so much. Yes. So it's not something that we should play with. I think the security strategy and policy was going to checkmate most of these things, and if properly implemented.
I also think that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, they're having a really tough time battling some of these cyber attacks on people. How successful they have been is what I do not know yet, but I know that they are doing their best in terms of curtailing this disturbing trend.
Yes, they are doing what they know how to do, because your knowledge, your level of success is dependent on the level of knowledge that you know. You cannot give what you don't have. So that's why I believe that, yes, even though from the layman perspective, they are doing well because of the whole Yahoo boys and the whole thing that they are doing, the internet fraudsters and all that. But it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. If there is an attack that happens now and you call EFCC to come and investigate, it depends on it's not all attacks that they can investigate, because it will require, there are some that will require a level of digital forensics. They have digital forensic experts amongst them. There are some that will require, there are some attacks that are real time, they are still happening. If you call EFCC, they will not do anything. That's why you need to now refer to the cyber emergency response team whose provision has been established by I think the NITSA, was it NITSA? One of those acts has established the cyber computer emergency response team. But the cybersecurity policy and strategy has also expanded the role of the SAT and has integrated cybersecurity incident response team into it. So it's broad, it's comprehensive. I'm talking about the cybersecurity strategy and policy. It's comprehensive, but implementation is always where we lag, where we lose it. So if we can implement it well, I think it's something that will go a long way to help us to checkmate all these security incidents and all that.
Okay, if you're just joining us, we've been talking about cyber attacks and why you can be the next victim of this very serious problem. And of course, when we come back, we begin to find solutions to these very important, to these very serious problems that we have in our hands. That's when we return.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're talking about cyber attacks and how you may be a victim, or you can be a victim of this serious menace that is troubling the whole world and including Nigeria. Hania, before we went on that break, we were talking about the consequences of cyber attacks in the overall business cycle, especially as that affects financial institutions like banks and their customers. But I know that this also has an expansive problem on the economy of the country. Can you really tell us about that?
The cyber security industry is growing. The cyber crime industry, let me use the word, that cyber crime itself specifically, it is growing, and it's expected to grow to about $6 trillion. That's the level at which, that's the projections that it's been made regarding the growth rates in cyber crime. So, and that definitely, that money is coming from different economies in the world.
Yes.
So an attack on an individual affects an organization. An attack on an organization affects the company, affects the country generally. At the end of the day, you find out that it is different individuals that have been attacked has a direct, because when the attack is foreign, and let's say if a foreign attacker is attacking a local organization in Nigeria, when they lose funds, the money is not remaining in Nigeria, it's going out without any form of documentation, without any form of, so at the end of the day, you find out that we are losing, we don't even know the amount. There was a report that says about Nigeria lost about 800 something billion to cyber crime, was it 2018 or so? So, and that continues to grow. There is no year that you would see crime growth rate in terms of financial crime not exceed the previous year. Yes. So it is growing, and it will continue to grow as we continue to depend on the cyberspace for activities and also for economic growth. So while we are diverting into digital economy, we should also factor in the difficulties and the challenges that come with it, and one of it is cybercrime.
Wow, the figures you reeled out here are really, really huge. Even in Nigeria and the rest of the world, it's really mind-boggling that such a huge amount of money are lost to cybercrime, and the world really has a battle to face. Are really facing a battle.
In fact, as long as cybercrime is before 2010, cybercrime was way below. It was a double digit in terms of scale of preference from the UN on what could affect the world and make the world unstable. Cybercrime was in the double digit number, but as at 2011, 2012, it was number 4. So that's after terrorism. That's to tell you that after terrorism, nuclear war, then the next one is cybercrime. In fact, Warren Buffett made a statement and said that cybercrime is supposed to be before nuclear plants. So that's to tell you the extent at which cybercrime will become a serious issue if not properly curtailed at this time that it is still growing.
It has to be curtailed, because we understand sometimes that even cyber criminals have a link to terrorism. Sometimes.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, they use the dark web to carry out most of their communication, and the dark web is an uncontrolled internet space where atrocities happen. It encourages all level of crime, and that is where the eBay that we have in the physical world, that's where you see where they sell hard drugs and steroids and guns, and people sell services such as assassination services and the like. So it's usually it's a world on its own.
It's huge.
It's a world on its own.
Very huge indeed. And there's another aspect of this whole thing that is phishing, which is sending messages to trick people. That also has played a very ugly role in Nigeria. That, like I said before, this is some of the things that we have seen in our own side here. Phishing.
Yeah, phishing actually it is a technique under social engineering. Social engineering is a way of manipulating people to carry out certain things or carry out certain activities. But phishing is a technique under social engineering, and generally how they do it is They give you a level of information that is true, and they give you an information that is assumed to be true, and they expect you to carry out an activity. One of those ways is called email phishing. Phishing generally can be aligned, is usually aligned with email, but there are different forms of phishing. One of it, the email is where they send you a link, and they send you a cloned link, a link that that is under their control. They may have cloned, let's say, for example, GTB website. They clone it, then they send you a link, and they expect you to click the link and log into your if you are using internet banking, log into the internet banking of GTB. Unknown to you that you're logging into the cloned GTB that they are in possession with. So when you try to log in, they will capture your username and your password. So they will now redirect you to the original GTB. So you think you think it is probably a wrong. You didn't enter the password correctly. So you now enter the password again in the right one. But meanwhile, they have captured the username and the login details from the cloned one. So they can now use it to log into your account to carry out whatever transfer that they want to carry out. But that is just email, because this also goes in terms of voice. That is one that when they call you, they ask you to, they give you information that is true. Yes, they tell you your name, they tell you that you have an account to social media. That is Phishing, Vishing. Now that one is via voice. Why the regular phishing is via email? Then there is smishing. Smishing, that's the one they do via SMS or instant messaging. Yes. So these are the dimensions of phishing. There is under phishing again. There is still what's called whale techniques under phishing. That is where they send emails to the big shots in an organization. So their target is not junior staff, their target is not mid managers, they target the MDs, the CEOs, and all that, because they know that there are certain privileges that those ones have that others don't have. So that form of phishing is called whaling. Then spear phishing is when they have a target. Now, phishing can be general. You send it to millions of persons with the hope that a few hundred or a few thousand will click on the link or will do what you want. But spear phishing is when they have a target. They send it directly to that target. Yeah, so these are some of the techniques that comes with phishing and how they carry out the operation of phishing. But it is generally a social engineering techniques.
Wow, interesting. It's so deep and detailed, and it's also very scary that this is the extent to which people can go to steal from others using this type of techniques we just talked about. Now, looking at the solutions, for instance, you mentioned the issue of password. This one is one that is on the basic level. You can say, okay, what is the place of my password in all this, and how do I protect my, myself from this attack using my password or changing my password, whichever.
Okay, let's start by knowing the kind of attack that happens on password.
Yes.
Yeah. Now let's say the phishing attack did not work for them. The phishing attack did not work for them, but in a way they know your username and they don't know your password. They know your email, which most persons use as their username for most of their accounts.
Yes.
But they don't know the password. So if your password is simple, when I mean simple, I mean your password is number only or a word in the dictionary.
Okay.
It's simple for them to just use there are tools that are designed to do what's called brute forcing. Brute forcing is a way of guessing your password. So when it is a dictionary attack, they will pick a word in the dictionary, combine it with your email that they already have, and they will try to log in with it. If it does not work, it is a system that is doing this. It's the software that is doing this. Picks the next word in the dictionary, and that's how they keep guessing different words in the dictionary until they get a word that is your password. Now that process really does not take more than 5 minutes. Yet, so if your word is a dictionary word, or it's a simple word, or it's among the 1,000 top 1,000 password, because there are research have gone forth and people have been able to bring forth their password, and some persons have documented this password and said most persons use this set of password to log into as their password for whatsoever credentials whatever platform that they are trying to log into. So if your password is among the top 1,000 or top 10,000, you are still not safe. Your password should not even be among the top. It should not even be there. If your password is a dictionary word, is a word, is a name, is a number only, it is easy and it can easily be brute force, and I can guarantee you, I give you guarantee that your password can be guessed rightly. But now, to ensure that your password is not guessed rightly, you need to do what's called, you need to create what's called a complex password. And a complex password is a password that has a capital letter, it has a small letter, it has a number, and it has a special character, and it must be more than 8 characters, the total. So that is what comprises of a complex password. It must be a letter, capital letter, it must have a capital letter, it must have a small letter, it must have a number, it must have a special character. And when I say special character, characters like at, full stop, dash, underscore, all this, and they are all special characters. Now, all these characters, by that you combine them, it must be 8 and above. That is what is called, what we say, that's what in the cybersecurity we consider to be what a complex password.
Yes. Okay, can we be changing those passwords from time to time just to confuse them, to ensure that they don't even if we have the complex password that like you said, is it not possible to keep changing them to more complex ones and then
Yes, it's advisable that you change your password regularly. In fact, there is even a concern that most persons use one password for all their social media accounts or all their internet credentials. I use one password for all their internet banking accounts and everything. They know that one password is well. So if somebody is able to get that one password, it means the person have access to your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, your bank, your bank details, your internet banking details, and every other account that you have that operates via the internet and its credential. Yes, so it's best before you even do the changing. It's difficult, but it's best you have multiple passwords, even though it is one character that changes in the password, but let it be multiple. I mean, let it be different in every of your let your login credentials be different. Then it's now best you do what you change the password. Some company does what is called they've enforced password change every 30 days. But you can say, okay, every 3 months, let me be changing my social media account password or my credentials, so that even though, for example, I have fallen victim of an attack, or someone has succeeded in getting my password, before you know what's happening, you have changed it, unknown to them that it has been changed. Because most of this, like there was an attack on a particular application called Canvas. It is a design app. Now that attack, the attacker was able to go with username and password and credit card details and the likes, and your PII, personal identifiable information. Now, if you are using one password for all your credentials, it means that because when there is a breach in a system, what happens is that everybody would have access to that particular data that has been breached. Now, if that everyone has access to that particular data, or people begin to say some attackers sell it, but if you that is a low-level attacker wants to buy, you can buy actually. And once you buy, it means that you can log into the person's credential. But if you don't, that is for cases where you even know, if you know that you are falling victim, or that particular application you're using it and it has been attacked, you change your password immediately. But if you don't know that it has been attacked, because you are changing regularly, it means that you have been covered, because before they now use your credential to log in, you have been covered. You have changed your credentials. So it's advisable you change your credentials regularly.
Okay. It's very advisable that you change your password and the other details of yours to be able to protect yourself from these attacks being perpetrated by some unscrupulous elements in our society. We've been having some interesting time here talking about cyber attacks and why you can be a victim of these attacks, and of course the steps you must take to ensure that you protect yourself from this menace. I've been in the studio with Hanel Jafar, an ICT expert with whom I've been, we're having some good time discussing this very important topic. And once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. It's on this note that we draw the curtains on today's edition of Money Radio. We promise to bring you a fresh edition when next will come. Thank you, and God bless you.